Good morning. It's day 16. I'm still in my little hostel room in Burgos. It's about 7 a.m. I'm moving towards the direction of leaving, but I'm only walking 20 kilometers today, so I don't feel the need to rush, especially because I can't even get into the next hostel until 12 or 1 o'clock. But I thought it might be useful or interesting for me to show you my foot care for the Camino. This is what I've established over walking for a little over 2 weeks now, and I thought I would share with you some of the products that I'm using that I think I've gotten them all in Spain now because whatever I brought with me is all used up. So I really like this Arna gel. It's arnica gel, and I use this 3 times a day, typically in the morning before I walk, on my long middle of the day break, and then at night before I go to bed. And this is just a gel. I just put it all over my feet and my ankles, sometimes on my knees. It's great for swelling, pain. Before I put on my socks, either in the morning first thing or after a few hours when I change my socks, which I do every 2 to 3 hours, I have been putting this Compeed. It's an anti-blister balm. I just rub a little bit of it sort of on the tops of my foot, behind my toes, and then down by my heel. I don't really put it in the middle of my foot because I don't think that part is prone to blisters. And this has been great. I started with a product called Foot Glide and then switched to this because you can get this in Spain. And I have 0 blisters, and it's day 16. So, I think the key is taking your shoes and socks off multiple times a day. I never see anyone else doing that. People just leave their socks and shoes on at their rest breaks. Take them off. Your feet need to dry out, and you need new socks. When I arrive, wherever my destination is, I like to use this Tiger Ball. Typically, I'll use this multiple times. It's a hard ball. It helps rub out the fascia and the muscles, and I just sort of rub back and forth on my shins, my calves, my feet. That is great. I've been using this Physio Cream, which is another version of arnica, but it also has menthol on it. I also have Tiger Balm muscle rub, and sometimes I'll use this, sometimes I'll use the Physio Cream, but I use one of the 2 of these to do a massage with my hands, feet, ankles, shins, calves, all those areas. And then after I do that, I will elevate my legs. So I will put my legs up against the wall above my head. I like to do that 2 or 3 times, at the end of the day, leading into the evening before bed, for about 10 minutes each time, although it really does burn because all that yucky gunk that's been building up throughout the day is draining out. And then the last thing I do before bed is I put a thin little layer of pure Vaseline over my feet, and then I sleep with that on. It just keeps my feet kind of smooth. It prevents them from drying and cracking. I've just had really good luck with this. A pharmacist in Spain recommended this to me after the first couple of days when my feet were getting very, very red and it felt like they were getting burned. In terms of medicine that I take for pain, I've been taking arnica tablets 3 times a day. I had my own supply of pellets, but those ran out. So I've been using this Tramiel, which you can get in Spain. It's very easy to find. And then depending on how my feet are feeling, I start the day just with the arnica. If things are starting to hurt around my first or second break, I will take a Tylenol because it's a little bit easier on my stomach. And then if at my midday break, I'm really feeling like, oh my gosh, things are hurting. How am I going to make it through the second half of the day? Then I will take an ibuprofen. And that's pretty much how I've been taking care of my feet and my pain. And it's working really well. So, all right, I'm going to finish getting ready and I'm going to get on the road and head out of Burgos. See you there. One last thing. I forgot to mention that I also stretch a lot, at least 3 times a day, at least the morning before I walk, my midday longer break, typically when I arrive, and then often before I go to bed. So stretching is key. Okay, one final thing before I head out. If you have shin problems, tap your toes for about a minute before you put your shoes on and start walking, because it warms up the muscles that are around your shin and it helps prevent shin splints. And that's been working really well for me. Found the yellow arrows again. So I am walking out of Burgos. Such a beautiful city. It sort of felt a little bit like a tourist and not so much like a pilgrim, just for like a few hours yesterday, which was nice. I didn't mention yesterday, but I fell twice yesterday. Once when I was in Atapuerca, I was coming off of like a 4-inch curb and just totally fell on my knee, scraped it up a little bit. And then on a little descent outside of Burgos, there were some loose rocks and I just sort of slid and fell on my butt. So it took 15 days to fall, but then I had 2 falls. Okay, so I've got 10 kilometers to the first town, so I think it's a little bit of a walk outside of Burgos and through the suburbs. And then I think I just have one more town after that, and then I will be, or maybe 2 towns after that, and then I will be in Hornillos del Camino. So I will see you along the way. I've walked 300 kilometers, 476 left. Oh, I've got Dr. King, Gandhi, and Einstein, and some pilgrims. What a cool mural. Love that. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. Today's been a struggle. I don't know what it is about these like shorter days, but they always feel so much harder to me than the longer days. I have no idea why. I'm just so low energy today. Like I'm just moving along like a snail. So I have about 7 kilometers left to Hornillos del Camino. I just had a, you guessed it, tortilla with cheese. I'm hoping that will energize me. I just wet my buff. It's starting to get hot out. It's going to be another 90-degree day. The heat has returned. But I can do it. I can do it. It's just 7 kilometers. And I'll be at the hostel. It is about noon. So I think it's going to take me a couple more hours to get there. Yeah, here we go. So I think this is in memory of the woman who was murdered 2 years ago on the Camino. So if you don't know the story of Denise, you can look it up online. But basically, she is a woman from Arizona, and 2 years ago she was hiking the Camino by herself, and she made it a little bit past Astorga, and a man who had painted fake yellow arrows leading to where he was living, which was almost a kilometer off of the Camino, tricked pilgrims into going to where he was, and he was acting very strange, and he was even, I heard that he was even dressing like a pilgrim to lure people there. Anyways, he lured her there and killed her. It didn't take them long to figure out who it was. They have since arrested him. And of course, sometimes I think about her, and I think about, you know, the risks involved with doing something like this by myself as a woman. But you can't make choices in your life based on your fear. You have to do things that excite you and that thrill you and that bring you joy and that inspire you. And part of that is take a risk. But if you don't take those risks, at least for me, if I just stay home, there's not nearly as much fulfillment and bigness in my life. So I do think about her, and I try to be cautious and use my maps really well, and if there's kind of a sketchy part, walk with another pilgrim, or at least be in sight of other pilgrims. But just know that if you're planning on doing the Camino and you're a woman and you want to do it by yourself, it's possible. It's very safe. Probably much safer than walking around in your own town, or equal level of safe, depending on where you live. You know, that kind of thing can happen anywhere. And just have your wits about you. Be cautious. But you should know that there will be stretches, kilometers at a time, where you are walking completely by yourself. And you've just got to be self-reliant and brave and build up your courage. But you can do it, and it's really an incredible journey to take, to recognize your own strength, bolster your own strength. And I'm glad that I'm walking this way alone, but also meeting so many other people from around the world who help build my courage. I'm recording the bells because they're really intense. They woke me up from my nap. Jean said she thought maybe there was like a funeral or something. Like someone died. Heating. That's the last thing we need right now. This is the albergue for tonight. Hornillos Meeting Point. It's really nice. Hello. Hello. I thought that was you. How are you?
I'm doing great.
How's your mom?
My mom's, she's getting stronger every day.
Is she taking a bus yet?
Yeah, no.
The garden. And then we will have a dinner here later. That's the biggest
Me too.
pot of paella I've ever seen. Wrapping up the day, we had a beautiful communal meal of that delicious paella. And I'm getting ready for bed. It's going to be really hot again tomorrow, and there's no shade because we're in the meseta. So I'm hoping to leave around 6:30. I set my alarm for 5:30, so I'm going to start getting ready for bed, doing my bedtime routine. And it was a good day today. It was a struggle doing the walking. I just had really low energy and I just wanted to be done. But staying in this albergue is very nice, and catching up with a lot of people who I have been walking with, just all converging in one place, is really cool. So that was really, really, really lovely, the social aspect. So anyways, I'm going to hit the hay soon, and I will see you in the morning.